Okay, you ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. So, hey, everyone out there, welcome. It feels like AI is just changing every single day, right?
Mhm.
Now, honestly, it's tough to keep up.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly why we're here, to help you navigate this fast-moving world of artificial intelligence and break down the things that really matter. So today, we're diving deep into one of the most crucial concepts in AI right now, reinforcement, learning from human feedback. We call it RLHF for short,
It's a mouthful.
right? It really is. And it's particularly important for these super powerful large language models we hear so much about, like ChatGPT and others.
Yeah, these large language models are incredible at generating text, but the real question is, how do we ensure they're not just statistically impressive, but actually align with what we humans consider to be safe, helpful, and beneficial?
Exactly, because we've all seen those headlines about AI going off the rails, right?
Right.
Generating weird stuff, offensive content.
Yeah, it's a real concern. I mean, without some way to guide these AI systems towards desirable behaviors, we risk ending up with outputs that are not only unhelpful, but potentially harmful.
And that's where RLHF comes in, right?
Mhm.
So our mission today is to break down this crucial technique, understand how it works, why it's so important, and how it's shaping the future of AI.
Mm.
So I guess a good starting point would be to look at how RLHF differs from the traditional way of training AI.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it in the past, machine learning models mostly learned from huge data sets, right? They were fed tons of data and looked for patterns and relationships within that data. But with RLHF, things get a lot more dynamic and interactive. It's about directly incorporating feedback from humans.
So instead of just passively learning from data, it's actively learning from our judgments and preferences,
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that RLHS focuses on learning from instances where the AI's output isn't ideal.
meaning where it gets things wrong.
Well, not necessarily wrong, but where the output is less desirable from a human perspective.
So it's not just about predicting the most statistically likely word or recognizing an image. It's about learning what we as humans actually like and dislike.
Precisely. It's about moving beyond just statistical probability and into the realm of human preference. And that's a fundamental shift.
It really is. So let's break down how this whole process actually works. RLHF involves a few key stages, right? Starting with supervised fine-tuning, or SFT.
Right, SFT is all about setting a solid foundation for the AI. It's like giving the AI a basic understanding of what a good response looks like. In this stage, human labelers play a crucial role.
Okay, so these are real people providing input.
Yeah, they're experts who carefully craft high-quality responses to a variety of prompts or questions. And these responses serve as examples for the AI to learn from.
So it's kind of like giving a student a textbook full of well-written essays.
Right, exactly. The textbook analogy is really helpful here. So we have this base language model, which is a pre-trained AI capable of generating text. And in SFT, we essentially fine-tune it on these expertly crafted responses.
So it's learning the nuances of good writing from the best examples.
Exactly. It's adjusting its internal parameters to better match the patterns found in those high-quality human-written responses.
So the AI has its textbook. It's been fine-tuned. What comes next?
Now we move on to reward modeling. This is where things get even more interesting because we start incorporating those subtle human preferences.
So it's not just about showing the AI good examples anymore, right?
Right. Instead of just saying this is good, this is bad, we introduce comparisons.
Comparisons. How does that work?
So human evaluators are presented with multiple AI-generated responses to the same prompt. And their job is to rank these responses from best to worst.
So instead of just a thumbs up or thumbs down, they're giving a more nuanced judgment.
Precisely. It's like saying this is better than this, but not as good as this. And that kind of ranking provides richer information than a simple binary good or bad.
It allows the AI to see the shades of gray in our preferences.
Exactly. And all this ranking data is used to train another AI model called the reward model.
The reward model.
Yeah, it's like a separate AI that learns to predict human preferences. It looks at the characteristics of different responses and how humans have ranked them and figures out what makes one response more desirable than another.
So it's kind of like a teacher grading essays. But instead of just giving a letter grade, they're putting the essays in order from best to worst.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. The reward model learns to identify those qualities that make for a top-scoring response.
Okay, so now we have the reward model trained to predict human preferences. Where do we go from there?
Now comes a really exciting part, reinforcement learning. This is where the AI starts actively learning and improving.
So it gets to actually use what it's learned from the reward model.
Exactly. The AI interacts with its environment, generates responses, and instead of getting direct feedback from a human, it gets a score from the reward model.
So the reward model acts as a stand-in for human judgment.
Right. And the AI's goal is to maximize its reward score. So it experiments with different responses, trying to figure out what gets the highest score from the reward model.
So it's like that student constantly rewriting and refining their essay based on the teacher's feedback,
Yeah.
aiming for that A+.
Exactly. And through this iterative process of generating responses, getting feedback, and refining its approach, the AI becomes increasingly skilled at producing outputs that align with human preferences.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
But why is this whole RLHF process so important? What are the potential downsides if AI models aren't trained this way?
I mean, think about it. Large language models can generate incredibly impressive text, but without RLHF, they're essentially just predicting the next word in a sequence. They might generate text that's statistically probable, but doesn't align with what we humans consider to be helpful, accurate, or safe.
So they might be able to write a grammatically correct sentence, but
Mhm.
it could be nonsensical or even offensive.
Exactly. And that's a big problem. RLHF directly addresses this by guiding the AI towards outputs that humans find desirable. It's about aligning AI's capabilities with human values.
So it's not just about making AI sound more human-like.
Okay.
It's about ensuring its outputs are genuinely useful and safe.
Precisely. And that leads to more trustworthy and reliable AI systems.
But this RLHF process isn't a one-time fix, is it?
You're right, it's an ongoing process. As AI models become more advanced, so too must our methods for ensuring alignment.
Because the more capable these models become, the more potential there is for unintended consequences, right?
Exactly. So the reward models need to be continuously refined, and the human feedback mechanisms need to adapt to the AI's increasing sophistication.
It's like a constant game of cat and mouse,
Yeah,
trying to stay one step ahead.
in a way, yeah. This is where the field of AI alignment research comes in. It's all about ensuring that these powerful AI systems remain beneficial over the long term.
And we're already seeing RLHF being used in real-world applications, right?
Absolutely. It's being used to train some of the most advanced large language models out there, like ChatGPT, for instance.
ChatGPT has become so popular.
Right. And a significant part of its ability to hold engaging conversations and provide useful information comes from RLHF. Other models like Claude from Anthropic and Google's Gemini are also incorporating variations of this approach.
So when we interact with these models and they seem to get us, it's partly due to RLHF working behind the scenes.
Exactly. And the implications go beyond just these current applications. As we move towards even more advanced AI like artificial general intelligence or AGI.
AGI, that's the big one, right? AI with human-level intelligence.
Yeah, and as we get closer to that, ensuring alignment becomes even more critical. We need to make sure these highly capable AI systems understand not only what actions to take, but why certain outcomes are preferred over others.
Because otherwise they might optimize for the wrong things, right?
Exactly, and that could have serious consequences. RLHF provides a framework for embedding those preferences and values into the very core of these AI systems.
It's about teaching them to learn from us, not just from data.
Exactly. So to recap our deep dive into reinforcement learning from human feedback, it's this groundbreaking method for training AI to learn from human evaluations of what's good and what's not. We talked about the three key stages: supervised fine-tuning, where the AI learns from high-quality examples; reward modeling, where it learns to predict human preferences; and reinforcement learning, where it actively refines its behavior to maximize those preferences.
And the big picture goal is to create AI that is not only capable, but also aligned with human values, making it safer, more useful, and ultimately more beneficial for all of us.
Absolutely. It's about harnessing the power of AI while ensuring it serves humanity's best interests.
So there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the fascinating world of RLHF. We've covered a lot of ground, but it's clear that this is just the beginning.
Yeah, this field is constantly evolving.
And as we rely more and more on these advanced AI systems, I think a crucial question to ponder is this. As these human feedback loops become more complex and influential in shaping AI's behavior, what are some of the long-term challenges and ethical considerations we need to be thinking about? That's something to really chew on as we continue down this path of incredible AI advancement. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time. See you then.